Hello, ladies. A gentle reminder that Twitter's gay. Man, I have a lot of fucking. I'm gonna keep those open. I have a lot of tabs open. I'm just closing them. And I was earlier setting up Home Assistant. Very based, very cool. Home Assistant is probably another Qube's OS that was yesterday. This is the secure Alpine build. We're gonna continue that. I think home automation and like smart home is something that I've always wanted to do. It'd be like super cool. Like I want my own weather station that's local. That'd be sick. And it's kind of easy to achieve this with Home Assistant. I know people are like afraid of like they have like some form of like technophobia where they're like afraid of technology, but I think when it's local, that's all that really matters as long as it's local. I mean, local is the most optimal way to I guess like achieve some form, I would say, of digital ownership, and it's cool. So I might do some videos on that maybe in the future once I get it started. I don't know where to start with where I want to start, like what I want to automate and what I don't. But Home Assistant has their own voice assistant apparently. Mm-hmm. And the cool thing is, if you have relatively, can ACL rules make Home Assistant device unable to reach WAN internet? Yeah, I mean ACL rules can make anything not work. It's like a more advanced firewall. So Home Assistant, I would put on a completely I would segment. Like if I were to set up Home Assistant today, I would make it a per rule basis on a per device basis and allow only communication with certain devices. Like if I wanted to some form of integrate. The thing is, I'm not buying a separate device to run Home Assistant. I think that's silly. They're also very expensive. They get dropped. Their support gets dropped quite often. So you don't know what end of life is going to happen. You could put it on a Raspberry Pi, but again, that would be like another device. I'm just running it in Proxmox on my stack so that I can have good quality backups, and it has decent integration. I'm just going to make it where certain devices, I'm not going to really need the automation part, but I'm going to put it on a per device basis. Like only these devices can interact with this particular virtual machine, and only my phone. Like I don't need my smart camera. If I had a camera look for like local surveillance, I would actually probably just do the Unify, like go to the Unify route, because Unify is, even though it's not open source, there's not really a good option besides the Raspberry Pis, but that's a DIY solution, and it's not necessarily bad as long as it's local. And Unify has a really good track record of keeping it license free and local. I also run my hub and keygen locally anyway, so it's not in the cloud at all. It doesn't touch the Unify cloud, at any point. So I think some of the open source nerds get like irated, and they're like, "Why aren't you using this very specific one?" It's like, well, it's not good, and there's not good support for it. And I'm all for open source, but if it's not supported and it doesn't have like a good track record of like getting updates or like any maintenance, why would I use it? Just because it's open source. Obviously, I want it to be open source, but local first is probably like my biggest want. Always local first, no license, no subscription fee, no cloud. Then I don't care. I mean, if Unify goes the dark route, I can just sell the products to people that don't care about that. They have like pretty decent resale value. Amcrest is like another good one as well. But that's where you would want to set up an NTP server so that you can make sure that the time syncing of your security cameras. You can make it where your security cameras don't touch the internet, and you set up an NTP server to make sure syncing is for like, I think video is like on point. So it's not really about as much as the open source hardware is just a difficult business model to have. I'm not saying it's impossible, but when you open source the hardware and the firmware and the software and everything, you kind of put yourself in a position for people just to steal it and copy it and do it cheaper, where it might not protect like your business in interest. I do agree that that's not always the case, because if you provide very good customer service and you provide very good source like resolutions, you can't copy that. You can't copy what how a company makes you feel. Like if you have a good it doesn't matter if you have the best product. If you have poor support and like you don't fix the problems that do exist, because you're going to run into them, then people don't give a shit. Like especially if it's the same cost. That's kind of like Start9's point. Star 9 Labs. They do they're like an Umbrel competitor. They're doing essentially the same thing, but they put their entire stuff under an MIT license, and they sell servers for people to use. But they also pointed out one thing. They're like, the guy was like, he said something like kind of interesting. He was like, when he first started the project, he was like, he's like, I didn't do it open source, and people were like mad about it, and they're like, give me a good reason why I should open source why I should open source it. And someone was like he needed a reason for it to be open source, and he's like, well, more people are gonna like respect it or something or whatever. And then he's like, okay. And then after like about a year and a half, someone gave him like a good reason, and he open sourced it. He was like, they're like, you can't match, like if you make good customer support, you can't copy that. Like anyone can copy a burger recipe and make a burger, but you can't copy how people make you feel. So like if your service is better than the other people, then it doesn't matter. In a sense of where it of what the service, like I can copy anyone's app, but if they're not getting the same experience and the same level of customer service, then it doesn't matter. So like he was like, all right, you got me. Like, he open sourced it. And then he put it under an MIT license. And he's like, people can buy whatever hard they want. This is how it is. But if you want support, you have to pay for it. And that's kind of like how Proxmox works. Like, Proxmox is like, you want support, go to the forums. You're going to wait. If you want good support, on-demand support, by this time, you're going to pay for it. And I think that's why people pay for, like, their license. It's expensive, but, like, that's what you're getting. Customer support and good quality issue resolution is always going to overcome the product itself. And then the money they make from that, they can dump it back into the product to make it better. You know, it's that's just like, you know, business 101. It doesn't matter, like, how it really is. Like, the only problem I don't like about Unify, besides the proprietary software side of it, is they have a tendency for, even though their cost is relatively high for some of their products for what you get, and they're nice products. I'm not downplaying the quality of it. They lag behind some like major. They lag behind on some major like networking things. Like they say they're gonna do something and they take a long time to get it done. Like really long. Like some people wanted L3 routing. Like they're like, well, why would I do this? Why would I get this router when it literally can't do L3 routing, like layer 3 routing, when it doesn't have these basic functionalities that are in like a lot of the free and open source options out there, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of people are paying Unify for two things, and this is just like perspective. The single glass panel that you get with it, I mainly think the software you get with it, the single glass panel, and the customer service. The customer service is actually really good. I had an issue with something and they fixed it immediately. Like I had a quality issue thing and they fixed it, no problem. They sent out the unit. Their warranties are kind of like overpriced and but they just do a really good job. And they have a good community support. And for the people that don't just want to like get like OpenWRT spinned up, et cetera, et cetera. Like there are things that I just like, as long as I can control the local key and it locally, I could care less then. But if it was like, you have to use our cloud, no. You have to pay a license to make it local, no. You have to pay a license for basic features, no. Like, then fuck you. Like, I understand they're a business and they just want to maintain a business. I think they should open source their software. I don't think they ever will. That'd be if Unify open sourced their software, they would be able to compete with against so many people. I mean, they look the best. It looks the best. I'm talking like just single glass panel wise, it's the best looking one. The problem with pfSense and OpenWRT is it looks like shit, and that might not matter. That might not matter to some people. Like, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me on the sense, but it does look like it's from like 1995. And that's like and you're spending like almost the same amount. Like if you go to Netgear, Net One or something. The people who do like pfSense, like they sell their own boxes. There's a company that owns it. They sell their boxes. They'll sell like pfSense boxes, and they're good. Their price is up there though with like Unify's. Like if you want a decent one, I like that Unify is finally getting their shit together with shadow failover. That's what I'm going to set up next, is a redundant internet provider. And if I can have a redundant internet provider, I want to like test shadow failover like on a live stream or like something like that, where I'll kill like my main internet connection and see how fast it switches over. But I got to find like a cheap one that won't fuck up my and you can actually make it like a per policy basis. Like these stuff doesn't use like this. I mean, there's some 5G internet out there that's pretty cheap that I might check out. The problem with 5G is it works off CGNAT. Cool. Now that my rant is over. Oh yeah, I must share. I gotta think before I call this guy a retard. Damn, where'd it go? There we are. Why is the stream black? Oh. Huh? That's weird. There we go. That's weird. That was weird. Yeah. Wow. That is interesting. So we're gonna do some other integrations with it. Ooh, we gotta check my backup jobs. Always check your backups, guys. By the time I wake up, I have been running ITP for 8 days and routed over 1 terabyte of data over the ITP network. Yeah, I want to see that real quick. Where did I put that? I think here. Didn't I put it in I2P? What's it called? I2P. There we go. D. Yeah, it doesn't work. I don't know why. Let me restart. I would love to use terabytes of data to destroy my there we go. %64% rate. Sent, receive. Okay, cool. Isn't there a place to change the bandwidth? It's weird though. It's not letting me use it. Now it says in the xconfig file, I set my bandwidth to X as much as it can go. It's okay, interesting. Yeah, my bandwidth, it's interesting. My success rates went from 70% to 7%. Let me run a peer test. Okay, now it's 4%. It's like going down. Oh, number of inbound tunnels, 3. Crypt type, destination port. Milliseconds to wait before ending. That's interesting. But it's weird, my status, now I'm down to like a 2%. Like I was at 64% and then it just immediately dropped. Huh. Decline transit tunnels, local destinations, lease sets. Flood mode is disabled. Tunnels. And there's no logging, which is interesting. Now it's 2%. I wonder if there's something wrong. It's got to be something. It can't be my firewall, because I was getting, when I was running I2P Plus, I had no issues until the attack happened. That's interesting. I'll have to like look at it like that. Look at it or something. I'm wondering if it's something to do with Void Linux being kind of gay. Did you set your bandwidth to X and restart it? No. Maybe I should do that. I'll quit it. Quit now. It's in, I got a CD. etc i2. Oh wow, I don't have an I2P. I don't have an I2P config file. Etc I2P-D I2P config. Input C? IP route? Interesting. Huh. Maybe it's in I2P. It's in my I2P router. Maybe, yeah, it's. Oh, it could be in var, yeah. Lib. No, it's just IP tables, Tor. Yeah, no, it doesn't exist. What is that command to find a certain directory? Isn't it like where is? Nothing. Or is it the find command? It is the find command. Or is it locate? I don't have that directory at all. Interesting. That directory doesn't exist in my system, so So I killed it. Let me see. Let's do All right, it's now at tunnel creation of 69%, 75. Okay. Maybe Firefox real quick, a quick Firefox check. 12767. Oh wait, no, it's 77. It's var app website. That's funny. Okay. It says my uptime is 6 days, but that's not true. But my success rate is going down. It's like it's tanking. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Like it shouldn't be tanking. You initially install it locally via Flatpak? Oh yeah, I did install it via Flatpak. I did install it via Flatpak. Isn't it? Oh, I forgot I did. I forgot. I did install it via Flatpak. Um, damn. Sorry, security brain based. Maybe that's why my success rate is going down, because it's not just firewall. It's but it says my uptime is 60% still. Let's do not Bob. I mean, not Bob loads. Like all the sites load. It's kind of weird that it tells me that it's running. Let's see if we can go to Billy's site. Maybe there's something wrong with I2PD and then in the web console that it's uh yeah. Look at that. That's interesting. Whatever, it's working. It's working. I'm not having any issues. I would say it's even everything. The web console is kind of interesting. It's giving me a different success rate, saying its uptime is 6 days when it's clearly not. I've used 2 gigs. We're not going to touch that hidden content. Billy's I2P site, home XMPP in progress blog. Welcome, I am Billy, a computer tech enthusiast. I thought I'd try setting up an EAP site, especially since I recently got I2P and Qube is working. I love both, which is gay. My favorite BSD is NetBSD. It's lightweight and fast. And then I own a Raspberry Pi 4B. It hosts Cirrus. Exchange is currently not hosted through I2P. Pi-hole with Unbound. XMPP. I2P email. And ClearNet. I also got XMPP Bill Gaming dot I2P. Identity guy .itp. Let's see another site. It's got to be something. Dark Cipher. I just want to make sure other sites are like loading, but it seems pretty based. Jump using it, not Bob. I did. It said it wasn't working. Huh. Welcome to Dark Cipher's homepage. Very based. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Seems like I2P is working though. All right. You've been using Identity Guy again, which has been offline for a while. You leave Identity Guy alone. He's doing a good job. What if he is just a real person? But not Bob lives here. Let's look at fuck Google.itp. Wow. A very appropriate option. Wow, Alan Wake too. He was like fucking like 30, like super old. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. You uh Xerox based. Oh wow, fuck Google ITP is just Xerox instance. Interesting. The problem with public instances, you are somewhat trusting them. I think people should just run their own instance. Fox Dick Chan? Fox Dick Farms. Huh. I'm a little worried about that one. Seems a little sus. I'm gonna... Let's see what Purple drank. Dank. Oh. Based. Okay, yeah, so we can do this. Okay, so Flatpaks are kind of like installing Tumbleweed. Want to try different desktop experience? Got any environment recommendations? What's up, Code? How are you doing? OpenBox. There's an option, I believe, to route the CRX request through Tor. Yeah. I believe you can do it yourself, too. Well, I mean, that would somewhat be, like, unique looking, though. OpenBox-based desktop environment. Don't use Cinnamon because it sucks. Use anything that uses Wayland for based security, actually. Okay, so we are going to either do AppArmor or SE Linux policies. AppArmor seems like it's a little bit more intuitive. I would say that my biggest crime is I wonder if I can get this to work again. Browser. It never seemed... It used to work, which is kind of crazy. And then it stopped. Yeah, I don't think it's coming back. But okay. Oh. The only reason I'm not switching is that I'm unaware of any compositors that are configurable, like IceWim, X Window Manager, IceWM. But what about based WM is based on Rust and Wayland? Just gonna keep that there. This man retarded. Oh man, where is? There we go. Claude told me Amarchi is too bogged up and bloated and insecure for VM dev work. I mean, fucking Amarchi's retarded. It's literally just Arch Linux with extra steps. You don't need something you like these honestly, like, memes aside, like these pre-configured like ways to like get Arch Linux to fucking work and to be super lightweight and all these like someone developing it in the background. It's fucking retarded. Just do Arch yourself. You don't need a pre-built Arch Linux distro. It's literally so easy to install. They have an install script at this point. Like all these like gaming distros and like distro maintainers are honestly, and I mean this in the most heartfelt way, are kind of useless. Like Void Linux is its own special case because it's not a fork; it's its own thing. Gen 2 is its own thing. I would even understand if somebody went and did like a pre-built Gen 2 distro because Gen 2 is time-consuming to set up in the beginning versus Arch. Arch Linux is, I mean, you can set up Arch Linux obviously much faster than you can with Gen 2. There's no point in having a pre-built based distro on Arch Linux. Just install it yourself. If you want I have Void Linux. It's not a fork. It's its own thing. And gaming worked right out of the box. That's why I'm saying gaming distros are a fucking waste of time. They're retarded. Security distros are a waste of time. They're retarded. They have their, I mean, like, obviously they're going to Alpine is based on Gen 2. It's based on Gen 2, and it relatively works out of the box. Like, you literally do, it's a setup install. It's a script. Got to try Cache, man. I am truly curious about it. It's its own thing. It's not. It's based on Arch Linux. It sucks. I hate it. I used it, and I did not like it. It's overhyped. I promise. Like, even a lot of the stuff, it's not like such a daunting task to configure your stuff yourself. Like, truly. Like, again, like Gen 2 is its own thing, so I understand if someone wanted to use like Redcore. Redcore is based on Gen 2. It makes Gen 2 very easy to just install, setup, done. But Gen 2 is a more hands-on approach but you can make it fast if you obviously pick very default, very user. It's like after installing Gen 2, I can see why Gen 2 is superior in customization and bloatless because you don't have to add anything. You can really strip Gen 2 down to be a works distro. And maybe there's Cache also apparently has optimized for x86 v3 or v4. My 60-year-old computer does not approve of Cache, even though I have not tried it. And the thing is, Cache isn't it fast? Isn't it as fast as they say? Truly curious about the CPU and kernel optimization. They say how is it fast at DE on Linux now? I have no idea. The thing is, like, people are looking for like these like speeds, like Gen 2 with March equals native. March equal native is better than Cache. If you want optimization like in your Linux distro, don't install unnecessary packages. Don't do unnecessary things that add bloat to it. I mean, it's that simple. Linux is very customized. You can actually remove stuff. You could install Ubuntu if you really want to, like at the base level, install Ubuntu at the base level and remove a lot of the bloat. There are also like packages that are like much faster and like more efficient than like what comes pre-installed. This is why I think hacking distros outside of like people that actually do it as a profession that just want something that like really quick and dirty and works, especially if you use like Ventoy or anything. Later, Billy. You essentially don't need these arbitrary Linux distributions that like add unnecessary bloat. Like if you're like actually like, I mean, Kali Linux and Parrot OS have their place, 100%. For people that are learning, for people that are actually doing this as a profession, they're great. They're probably they probably teach you what you don't need. But in reality, you can install Ubuntu, you can install Arch, you can install Debian, unfortunately, gross, and you could fundamentally, um, reach a conclusion that I don't need 80% of the tools I use in here. I use only 20% of these tools. And then you can then go get a distribution in its bare bones and build it out to a very customized experience. This is like why you should, like, is Nmap great? Yes. But can you build your own Nmap tool that's very tailored to what you need? Yes. That's the point. When you have these unnecessary like, I mean, if you just go on DistroWatch, like, here's a perfect example. And I'm not saying there should never be like a need for these to a certain degree, but I think they're vastly overcomplicated and unneeded. So if we go to, no, put no. DistroWatch is one of my favorite places to go when it comes to getting, like, just testing out Linux. I think some of them are cool. Like, they're like, that's how I discovered Void. All right, here's the Linux Hub. The developers of Linux Hub Prime have announced the availability of an updated version of the Arch-based Linux distribution. UCS is the Debian-based uneven corporate server. Like, stuff like that. Zentel. The Zentel development team has announced Zentel Server 8.1, the latest version of the project's Ubuntu-based server distribution. The new release is significant. Zentel developments today is based on the Ubuntu Server 24 LTS, and it comes with the latest version of all integrated software. This platform is a security hardening and system stability that includes a large number of internal improvements, bug fixes across the platform. Thus, important highlights includes numerous bugs fixed. Like, I have no idea what the fuck this is. Zentel is a server, formerly eBox, is a unified network server that offers easy and efficient computer network administration for small and medium-sized businesses. It can act as a gateway, an infrastructure manager, and a unified threat manager, and an office server, and a unified communication server, or a combination of them. That's cool. Like, Ghidorah SecLab is probably one of the weirdest distro default bloats on DE Linux. Oh, Fedora Secure. Yeah, I've used it. It looks ugly too. Fedora FreeBSD. FreeBSD is a project that announced FreeBSD of the latest 14 series, upgrade mostly soon. Nice. Free-based DSD. You know, there's not a lot of Linux. The release of the new version of Arch-based Linux distribution. Try the version. I've used CachyOS. I didn't like it. Zenclora. Zenclora is a desktop Linux distribution based on Debian Stable Branch. I mean, like, there's someone that's out there and they're like, I just need this very specific thing, so I'm going to make a whole distro. That is super common. Bruce Dubs has announced the release of Linux from scratch. LFS would be super cool. Prism Linux. Not Secure Blue. Fedora. Yeah, sorry, I meant Fedora Security Labs. I know I used it. I used it for a couple months. It was fucking crazy. Relia Node is a load balancing operating system based on Debian. God, I hate Debian. It's a release Arch-based distribution optimized for speed. It boots into the River Wayland compiler and launches a custom system installer, which provides a number of popular desktop options for the installation. I mean, and then if you just go on here, Cachy became the number one, Mint, MX Linux, Pop OS, Debian, Zorin, Endover OS, Manjaro, like stuff like that. It's like, but once you realize it's all based on Debian, you're like, it's crazy. It's not like necessarily, to like install like your own Linux distribution. I just like after using Linux for a very long time, you quite literally just don't need it. It's not one of those things that is necessary to get into Linux. And I don't mean this like to discourage like developers to come up with their own ideas, but it's like you made a whole distribution because you wanted like a specific like very like niche specific programs to like kind of like get into there. And it's like stuff like Secure Blue is kind of like an answer to people that do want security. I think once you go Fedora, the comfort and easiness of it is very. Fedora is great in its sense that it's trying to achieve a higher level of security. I personally don't like Fedora. I just don't. I don't like the Dev package manager. I'm not a fan of some of the way it does its layouts. I don't like the updates. I don't like the overall system in general. I mean, I genuinely I like rolling release. I like bleeding edge as much as possible. Uh, I mean, I like Void for that reason. I like Void's package manager. I like the way it works. I like the init system that it uses, like which is run it. Um, and again, all of this is like very subjective and it's down to personal taste. Just because I don't like Debian, like I don't like Debian. If it was like if there was like gun to my head, Debian or Fedora, obviously I'm picking Fedora because I think Fedora is in trying to improve the security side of Linux. I mean, and it makes sense. They do a lot of work that and the heavy lifting of certain things that is definitely needed. If I were to go, if someone was like leave Void Linux right now, and I couldn't go to Arch, and I had to pick out of the three, I would go to OpenSUSE. If it was between Fedora, OpenSUSE, and Debian, I would pick OpenSUSE. I literally installed Fedora for the first time because you said so, and I've been using it ever since. Truly grateful for that. Oh, thanks, appreciate it. yeah. I think Fedora is. I do not think Fedora is a bad project. I just, on a personal level, do not like Fedora. There are a lot of things I don't like about Fedora's the way they structure stuff, and that's just a personal thing. I mean, Linux at the end of the day is a very subjective preference. A lot of things are preference based. Me getting away from systemd was a great thing. I don't really care for systemd because I don't like how systemd works. I like the way that Void Linux does, it's like service management with making sure services start up at like boot, etc., etc. Like run it's a little goofy, but on a fundamental level, my system is insanely fast for the hardware that I have on it, and I think it's even like overpowered. If OpenSUSE is great, but it's weirdly bloated. Yeah, there is some bloat to it. There's some. I mean, Zyper is a little interesting. If I was picking between like a de-bloated system, I would go to if it was between what do you call it? If it was between Alpine, Gentoo, and OpenSUSE, it's OpenSUSE. I just say OpenSUSE because it sounds funny. Oh, if it was like OpenSUSE, OpenSUSE, Alpine, and Gentoo, I would pick Alpine. Alpine's easy. Alpine's great. I like Alpine. I tried using Alpine for a week. Yast is kind of weird too. Yast. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things that isn't necessarily OpenSUSE. I think OpenSUSE is like a very good distribution for people that just want something to work and they want a kind of like rolling release. Because I think Tumbleweed is rolling release if I remember correctly. Atomic Fedora is pretty good. They're like MacBooks. Yeah, Atomic Fedora is cool. Actually, if somebody wanted security out of the gate and they wanted something based on Gen 2, they would get just a Chromebook. Chromebooks are like insanely secure out of the gate because it forces sandboxing. If you want to do no configuration and you want like the best possible outcome, no configuration, you could definitely hit that line, baby. Interesting. Well, I thought Chromebooks were not secure at all. Very surprised to hear that. Yeah, it's based on Gen 2. It's actually enforces sandboxing. Chromebooks are very secure. They're actually one of the best options you can get like out of the box that isn't like Windows. I really do love OpenSUSE, but Zyper is probably the slowest, like making you angry kind of slow package manager I've ever seen on a modern OS. Yeah, yeah. XPBS is like really fast. I kind of like XPBS. I don't know. My dyslexia fucking kicks in, so I hate it from like the spelling. I feel like they should have named it something else, but I like the package manager. Portage is okay. From like a Gen 2 perspective, like I liked Portage. I do love open system. Okay. I'm trying to think of the worst password manager I used. It was probably motherfucker retarded. Claude has been trying to make me install Endover OS for the last hour. It says it's perfect for running VMs to test AI code. Endover OS is okay. It's kind of gross looking. And the crazy thing is, I like space. And it's not like it's like a very difficult distribution to use. All right, guys. Base gave 1 hour of my life away to the internet that I love the most. Super cool and super awesome. I appreciate everyone that has came by and commented below, especially you, especially the people that decided to show that YouTube I'm a real person and I love all their policies. I will see you guys tomorrow in the next live stream. Endover OS has the worst website, and Linux 100% sure it's 5 coded. Yeah, it is the worst website on the planet. I do not like it. Don't forget to also comment below your favorite type of natural disaster. Everyone has a favorite one. And if you don't, 1,000 years of bad luck. I appreciate you.